All right, my next guest is a man I've listened to for many, many years. We kind of just missed each other, ships in the night, in our old careers and our old life paths. But I've always listened to him because this man used to hold down the WIP overnights with Big Daddy, and I would always listen to Bill Matz on my way into work doing the morning show at the other station when we were blood rivals, Bill. But it's great to actually crack a mic with you here. Welcome in to the Anthony Gargano Show. I am not Anthony Gargano.
You are not. No, you look a little different than Anthony, but no, it's awesome to be here.
Yeah, and you're like me. You're kind of malleable to all the sports. Hockey is obviously your number one. You, Kelly, and Charlie, and Brenna do an awesome job covering the Flyers. What time today?
1 o'clock today.
1 o'clock. So make sure you're tuning in for the Flyers as it's a big offseason ahead, and we'll get into some Flyers talk. I am a proud Zamboner. But, Bill, I thought of you this morning for some reason because I feel like me and you have a lot of things that grind our gears in life that kind of set you off a little bit. Definitely. And I was getting my morning coffee, and I was wondering what your reaction would be to this. The mobile order ahead people versus the actual human being standing in front of you. I ordered my coffee, and I see this woman shaking up, and no offense to her, it's probably how the business is run. She's shaking up 3 or 4 different drinks, and I'm the only person in the store, just standing there in front of her, and she keeps making all these mobile orders. And it's a local place. It's not even one of these big chain places. And nobody's coming in to claim them. And I'm standing right there in front of her. And you don't want to be a dick, obviously, but I'm kind of like, they're not here. I'm right here. Don't I matter? So how would you feel in that situation?
I'll tell you, man, like the app reviews are absolutely precedent over like someone being mad in the store. Who just comes in and orders? You are a dying breed.
Yeah.
Like they don't care.
Well,
you're like
the drive-through window wasn't
Yeah.
open, so I had to park and go in reluctantly. So I was already kind of like agitated, and then I see all these fake internet people getting their drinks made before me, the only person standing in the store.
The people in the store just like, okay, Grandpa, just read your paper over there. All right,
So
we'll
this
get
is
to
on
you.
me?
I wouldn't say it's on you. It's just kind of, I think the priority is like, yeah, man, we care about the person who's going to give us a 3-star instead of a 5-star review. You're just going to go home and talk about it on this show. Little do they know the power you have, Jamie.
I love the place, and it's a great local business, so I'm not going to rip them, but I just felt like I'm standing here watching all these drinks getting made. I'm like, hello,
None of them are
I'm
mine.
right here. This is insulting. So that's how my morning started. But it's great to have you in, Bill. Now, as a proud Zamboner, I classify myself as somebody, when the Flyers are good, I'm all in. I'll watch games. I started watching games again this year for the first time in what felt like 2 years. But I'm not going to know the prospects. Bobby Brinks of the world, guys like that, I'll know. But like, I like it when it's good. When it's down times, I kind of check out a little bit ish. But we have a big offseason ahead for the Flyers. Of course, we're awaiting Matvei Michkov coming over, which could be any day now. What is kind of the too long didn't read, I'm a dumb Zamboner, fill me in. What is this offseason? What should we be excited about?
The first thing is going to be the draft. Draft coming up at the end of June. The Flyers are picking 12th and probably around 30th, somewhere there. So they have 2 picks. They're in a really good spot at 12 where there's a few players that looks like there's that are going to fall to them that should be here within a year or two who could end up filling holes at either maybe the number 1 center position or the number 1 defense position, at least prospects that you think, all right, maybe they project to get there. They're going to fill some holes in the draft this year. Then on July 1st, there's a couple players eligible for extensions, the first of which is Travis Konechny. And the decision they make on him is going to have a lot of ripple effects. Either, okay, if he's not signed right away, does that mean we're trading one of the longest tenured guys, a guy who wears a letter, one of the leaders of this team, best player on the team right now?
What's his kind of market value out there?
It looks like over $8 million a year, maybe closer to $9 million. And for the full 8 years, it would be he's going to be 27. And his contract doesn't kick in for another year. So you're kind of signing a little bit of an older player. If you are to trade him, what kind of haul can you get back for him if he doesn't sign an extension? So that's a huge decision coming up. Everyone sort of assumes he's going to be re-signed, but I don't know. It seemed a little colder at the exit interviews than it was in the couple of weeks leading up.
So I've seen our Flyers Discord. which is tremendous. I love you
Become a
people.
diehard just for the Discord discourse.
The Flyers Discord alone. Anytime I go in there, people are typing.
Freaking out all the time.
You guys are great, very entertaining for me. And if you want to become a diehard, go to allphly.com. $79.99 gets you the diehard writing from our great, Charlie O'Connors and Zach Bermans and Jim Salisbury's and Les Bowens and Bo Wolfs and Derek Bodner and Kyle Newbeck. Great stuff there. Then we have our Discord channel. We have discounts on merchandise and events. We have a ton of great stuff for you. So if you ever want to support us in that way, we'd love to have you. And you get access to us in Discord. Now,
I love that you just rattled off all the writers as if it's not all the best writers in the city.
Yeah,
throw in Salisbury and Les Bowen, Yeah.
We got the best guys in town, so I got to pump them up.
Yeah.
The Flyers Discord seems a little torn on Konechny. Like, is this a decision that... I guess there's no one really ever happy in Flyers land. Like, is there a win-win in this situation?
I would like to see Konechny retained, but there is the question of, like, at a certain point, you're going to need to save money somewhere. You can't, when Matvei Michkov comes over, you're going to have him cheap for a few years. But then you have to sign him, and then all of a sudden, all right, you're paying Travis Konechny $9 million. What if Michkov lives up to expectations, and now we have two right wingers both making $9, $10, $11 million?
Yeah.
We're not even talking number one centerman, not even talking number one defenseman. What happens when one of these goalies becomes awesome? If that were to happen, it's Philly, but it could happen. At a certain point, you have to make a tough decision. We all like Travis Konechny a lot. Right now, he's the best player on the team. But if he's the best player on the team 2-3 years from now, we're not very good. That's just what it comes down to.
So what's, Jonesy and Danny a little bit. Jonesy's one of the best. You have an insight into his mind pre-president of the Flyers and also while president. How are they kind of viewing this? Like, is Matvei Michkov somebody that is so good that you have to plan for that financially? Like, how are they kind of, viewing the short-term, long-term tug-of-war here?
I think they understand the situation better than most Flyers GMs have in the past.
Okay.
Like in the past, it's been
he's not Chuck Fletcher.
They know that there's a salary cap, but maybe don't understand, well, that means we have to sometimes not get everything we want. And they very much believe in the culture and keeping a guy around, a homegrown player like Travis Konechny. But if he has a number in mind that he's not willing to bend on, I hope that they know that means you have to explore other options, whether it's taking a hard line and saying, all right, let's see how the season goes. Maybe you show us you're better than we think and we have to give you the money. Maybe it doesn't go so well and you can get them at a little bit of a discount. And maybe you just start fielding calls and say, maybe you're not actively shopping them yet, but
we're not listening.
The phone's going to ring and I'm going to answer. It's going to be this is the toughest decision yet. I'm kind of leaning towards trading Travis Konechny because I like the player a lot. But at a certain point, you have to make room for these high-level guys that they don't have yet. They need to go get them. Where are they coming from and how are they going to afford them?
So what are you getting back in a Konechny trade? Are you getting draft picks? Are you getting a young player? What does that type of trade look like?
I would like to see a lot of people have floated the idea of Martin Necas in Carolina. He's a little bit younger. He's going to make a little bit less. I would like that idea a lot. Good two-way player, puts up similar numbers to TK. I would like to see that. But I think it's going to be hopefully a player that fits the timeline a little better. You trade him to a Dallas. You trade him to a Colorado, an Edmonton. They're win-right-now teams.
Yeah.
They would love a 27-year-old
Sure.
in his prime. You trade him there and get back a guy. Listen, he's really good. He just, he's on our third line because
he's too good for where we're at financially.
What, are we going to develop a guy while we're chasing down cups? No, it's not what's going to happen. So that's sort of the player, the type of player I'd be eyeing up there.
Okay. Now, you and I had a good laugh yesterday. PFT commenter had a pretty tremendous tweet as the Dallas Stars are doing really well. The Texas Rangers won the World Series, and I kind of believe the Dallas Mavericks are going to beat the Celtics in the NBA Finals. What would be hilarious would be if the three of them all won world titles and the Dallas Cowboys didn't make the playoffs.
It would just be Like as much as it's like Dallas sucks.
Yeah.
It's really the Cowboys, you know?
It's totally.
Because they're
The other teams don't offend me at all.
not a little bit. not
Corey
the
Seager's
least,
hitting bombs right now. I'm like, this is great.
Not the least bit. It would be so damn funny that America's team was the 4th team in their own town. That would just really tickle me.
It would be great.
I would love to. Truly, that might be the best possible outcome.
It really could be, because they would be so angry at 3 parades. You know, like it's like that emoji with the crying face and behind it. And
Michael Parsons being like, what? God damn it.
And this portion of the show is brought to you by TrueMark Financial Credit Union. The Anthony Gargano Show is presented by TrueMark Financial Credit Union. Check out TrueMark.com/PHLY or just stop into one of the 24 area locations to learn more about the credit union difference at TrueMark Financial today. Now, Bill, you're also one of the biggest Phillies nuts I know. Which is something we share in common here. I believe you are going to London, right?
I am going to London, yes.
Oh, so give us the itinerary here. What is the Bill Matz, Ava Graham itinerary in London?
Given my relationship status, I do have access to a lot of pretty cool things. Like there's some rooftop parties and stuff that are going to happen. It's Ava's goal. She's like, if there's going to be somewhere Chase Utley shows up, you need to be there. And I just picture the episode where of Always Sunny where they get lost in the woods.
Yeah, this is why I don't leave Philadelphia.
And Dennis gets to meet Chase Utley, and they have the catch. Like, I just want to send that picture to my friends. Like, do you have a good relationship with your father?
Me neither.
Me neither. Like, I would so badly love to meet Chase, but it's just going to be an awesome time. Like, I've never been over to London before.
Oh, London's great.
So we're going to do some of that stuff. Ava's been, so she knows, like, all the spots.
You can do the Ron Swanson in front of the Big Ben. Like, hey, a big clock. We don't have those.
Absolutely, yeah. No, it's going to be really cool. I'm just looking forward to it, and obviously repping Philly while you're there.
Sure,
because that's what you do when you go overseas. You wear Phillies stuff every day.
So I was down the shore this past weekend in Sea Isle, which you know very well, and I was with some college buddies from out of town. There were some New Yorkers and some Connecticut people there, and it was funny to see their observation of Philly. And one of the wives came back in after a morning walk with the kids and was like, what is it about Philadelphia? Every single person down here either has a Phillies hat, an Eagles shirt, a Sixers this, a Flyers that, hopefully a PHLY t-shirt. She was like, everybody is represented with something Philly down here. And I was like, yeah, we're sick in the head.
Yeah, it's a gag, man. Like it's really like, I gotta fly, I gotta throw up the flag. Like let everyone know wherever you go. I have like a t-shirt, an old Phillies Chase Utley t-shirt that I wear whenever I fly.
Nice.
Like that's my airplane shirt. Like, you always just have to let people know.
Yeah. I got some cousins in a Delco group that are flying over with a bunch of people, so avoid that plane if you can, travelers, because that's going to be a scene. It's going to be a really cool event. Those poor people in England, though, have to watch Taiwan Walker, Sean Manaea.
I saw the pitching matchups, and I was, man, they need flex scheduling with this stuff. Like, guess what? Game's on Tuesday now, kids.
Yeah. We're going to go to Monday so you guys can see Zach Wheeler. This is not how we spread the word of baseball out there. Yeah. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Are you going in just for the weekend and coming back? Are you guys taking a couple days?
We're going Wednesday night, like late Wednesday night, and coming back Monday, I believe. Well, Tuesday morning, probably.
Okay, great. Yeah. And Bill, who's going to win the Stanley Cup? Who should I bet on right now?
Man, VG's going to love to hear this. Edmonton looks so good. Edmonton last night making that comeback just showed me something, and I think that the series in the East is kind of just a war. Like the Panthers beat the crap out of everybody, and the Rangers seem up to it. I think whoever wins the West is going to win the Cup right now, and when a team wins a game, I always have trouble thinking they're ever going to lose again. Like, oh, well, Edmonton came back last night. That means they're going to win the next two. Like, absolutely. But I think both series have a real good chance of going 7. They're both tied at 2 right now. But Edmonton, they're doing this a lot with, it doesn't look like Connor McDavid's 100% healthy. He's having a little trouble shooting the puck, but he's still making himself obviously very present out there. And Leon Draisaitl is really freaking good, man. That team, it might be the year that the team with the best player finally wins the Cup.
So what's crazier, an Edmonton Stanley Cup parade or an Eagles Super Bowl parade down Broad Street? Because those people, I don't, no offense to people in Edmonton and like those, provinces in Canada, but like not a lot going on up there in terms of sports celebrations.
If it was the Leafs who haven't won since expansion, like since '67,
Yeah.
But Edmonton, while it has been like 30 years, they did win
have a good
5
run.
out of 7 from like 84 to 90. So
having
at least a lot of their living fans have that. We had never seen a Super Bowl parade. Many of the fans who are alive in '60 weren't around anymore. Yep. So like I would have to say the Eagles would win that one.
And the Oilers right now in the BetPark Sportbook are plus 300 to hoist the cup. So if you like Bill's Edmonton pick, you can get a little 3-1 action on that. Now, Bill, diehard Phillies fan, you've been down to a ton of games already at Citizens Bank Park this year. We were down there with some diehards last Saturday or the Saturday before they left. Yeah. And boy, the party scene is back at Citizens Bank Park. People were lit.
It really, I was in college for the last run. Like 07 to 11, that's pretty much my time in college. It lined up perfectly. It feels like that again. And like good for everyone getting to experience that because it just makes the city so much, it's just so much more alive when the team that plays every day is good that way. And you can go down most weeks and have a great freaking time down there. It really seems like that's back.
Yeah, it does. And I am a devout Ranger Suarez fanboy. Like he is just like making my year. Christopher Sanchez yesterday goes out there. Who's kind of been like your guy that you've gravitated towards? Because there's so many likable guys on this team. That's part of what makes it so fun.
There absolutely is. Really been liking just for the hair, give me Strom.
He pets it so prettily.
We have to support our own. But I love Marsh and I love Stott. Dudes who just look like dirt bags.
Yeah.
Just absolute. These dudes, you want to talk about meeting some people down the shore that you're like, I don't know, man. Should we party with these guys?
Are they flash mobbing in Wildwood?
Should we party with these guys? But they're just. It's a lot of fun to be connecting with the team like this because there's nothing like baseball. It's every day.
Yeah.
You get that. I feel like I know this dude. Bryce Harper's a little miffed right now.
That was awesome.
I feel it.
Yeah. I'm pissed off too.
He has been a little pissed, and I get why.
When he took the bat to the dugout. And I asked this to Jim Salisbury earlier, and I talked to JP about it. It kind of feels like Bryce Harper is like if you were to create a Philadelphia athlete in a lab that was perfect for the city in terms of talent, passion, pandering, just desire to win. He might be the perfect specimen.
Yeah, we want to. I always think of how mad people got. McNabb comes off the field smiling.
Yeah.
You threw an interception, you bum. It's I don't know, man. They're 11-5. Yeah. Relax. But it's Bryce Harper. He's one of the biggest stars in the game. He strikes out and he's pissed.
Yeah.
He's legitimately oh, all right, go back to the dugout and I'll get him next time.
This isn't just a game in May to him. Yeah.
And that's how we all feel.
Yeah, it's been a really fun season, and the difference between going 2-4 on that road trip and 1-5 is night and day. And now you come back home and you get the Cardinals, and things are really, really good. Bill, we might have one of the most fun summers ahead of us here with this team.
If the Phils win game 1 against the Cardinals, though, that puts them below 500, so the wins don't count.
So they should lose the first game.
They need to lose game 1.
Yes.
So that at least game 2 counts.
Well, they did that with the Giants, which was smart.
Yeah.
And I think I just saw it in our Discord, according to Baseball Paul on Twitter, let me just get this right. And I've lost it. But I think the Giants went above 500 with the second win, and now they're back at 500. So the Phillies kind of juiced.
So yesterday's game actually was worth 2.
Yeah,
It's
basically.
a successful trip. Way to go.
And now the Phillies have the best winning percentage at .688 against 500 or better teams in baseball. So these narratives that take off are so
just
dumb.
padding their stats,
Yeah, it's going to be a really fun summer. Looking forward to it. The kids are back into it. People are crunked up at Citizens Bank Park. It's just been a great start to the year, and we're about to get June Schwarber.
That's yesterday was the little appetizer, and that's the Schwarberfest hasn't even started yet. We've had little flashes from Bryce, but he hasn't been on an MVP tear yet. It's going to be a ton of fun, man. I'm just looking forward to the rest of the summer with this team.
Yeah, and I am too. And I'm getting called out in our Discord for having a real boomer morning, I guess. And the thing is, like, when I
don't know if it's a boom. Like, you are standing there alone in the store. Like, you would expect some service. It's just face-to-face service is the least important thing.
Yeah, and I do the order ahead sometimes, especially when I'm dropping the girls off at school and running around. It's just easier, so I don't have to wait. This morning, I thought the drive-thru was going to be open. It wasn't. I went in, and then I didn't matter. So if that makes me a boomer, so be it.
I guess.
Let me go yell at some clouds. Well, Bill, thank you so much for coming in and spending some time on the Anthony Gargano Show. Always good to chew it up with you.
Have a great morning, Jamie.
Yeah,
this was a lot of fun.
Flyer Show coming up at 1 o'clock today.
1 o'clock.
Kelly in today, or just you and Charlie?
Kelly is not in today. It's me and Charlie.
All
Maybe
right.
Kelly tomorrow.
And Michkov timeline, what do we got?
They said end of June.
Okay.
I think we'll know before that.
Okay. But he's pretty much definitely coming over.
It really seems that way, Jamie.
Okay. Awesome. There he is, Bill Matz and the PHLY Flyers Show. Make sure you're checking it out. The best hockey guys in town. We got them right here. Just like we got the best basketball guys, the best football guys. And I'm not going to pat my own back and call myself the best baseball guy, but we're here. We're doing it. But yeah, great to hang out with Bill. I used to listen to Bill on my overnight drive-ins to the morning show at the Fanatic, and always was a fan of his, always entertaining in those tough overnight hours.
We all silly like the mayor.